snow was falling in thick, silent layers as Jake Harlan, a retired Navy SEAL, drove his old truck down the dimly lit street. Christmas lights sparkled on every house, except one. The tiny, broken-looking home at the corner stood in complete darkness. No lights, no decorations, nothing but cold silence. Jake wouldn't have stopped. He wasn't the type to pry until he saw two small figures sitting on the front steps, wrapped in thin blankets. Children, shivering. His instincts kicked in instantly. He pulled over. As he approached, a boy about 8 years old stood up protectively in front of his younger sister. "Ma said not to talk to strangers," the boy said, voice trembling but brave. Jake knelt down to their eye level. "Good rule," he said gently. "But it's freezing out here. Where's your mom?" Before the boy could answer, the door creaked open. A woman stepped out, thin, tired-looking, her eyes swollen from crying. She pulled the children close. "I'm so sorry," she said quickly. "They shouldn't be outside. It's just the heater is broken and the power company, they shut everything off." Jake noticed her hands shaking, not from fear but from cold. The house behind her was completely dark. No heat, no lights, no food smell, nothing. It was Christmas night. "What about family?" Jake asked gently. "We don't have anyone," she whispered. "My husband died last year. I'm trying, and I really am. I just didn't want the kids to hear me crying, so I sent them outside while I—" Her voice broke before she could finish. Jake felt something shift inside him. After years of missions, after witnessing people in the worst conditions, he thought he was hardened. But seeing this widow and her 2 children freezing on Christmas night, it hit him differently. He straightened up. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "you don't have to explain anything." The kids huddled closer to their mother. Jake opened his truck door. "Come with me." The widow stiffened. "Sir, I can't just go with a stranger." Jake pulled out his old military ID and placed it in her hand. "You don't know me," he said softly, "but I promise you this, no one spends Christmas cold and hungry on my watch." The woman looked at her children, then at the man offering help with nothing but sincerity in his eyes. For the first time that night, she nodded. The old wooden door creaked open and the widow, Sarah, blinked in surprise. Standing before her in the cold December night was a tall man with a rugged face, dressed in a dark jacket dusted with snow. His voice was firm yet kind when he said, "Ma'am, I'm Mike Turner. I'm sorry to bother you this late, but are you and your kids all right?" Sarah hesitated. Her 2 children, Emma and Noah, peeked shyly from behind her torn blanket. Their tiny hands trembled from the chill. The small house smelled of damp wood and empty plates. She tried to smile politely. "We're fine, sir. Just a little cold. But thank you." Mike glanced around. There was no Christmas tree, no food on the table, only silence and exhaustion. He had seen this kind of pain before, not on battlefields but in broken homes. His instincts told him these people needed help. "Do you mind if I step in?" he asked softly. Sarah nodded nervously. "We don't have much, but please." He entered and looked around. The walls were thin and the children were wrapped in old coats. On the table lay a single candle, flickering weakly. "You don't have heat?" he asked. Sarah shook her head. "The electricity was cut off 2 days ago. I'll pay it next month. We'll manage." Mike took a deep breath. He remembered how his own wife and daughter had once faced winters like this while he was deployed overseas. He couldn't let another family suffer tonight. He smiled gently at the kids. "You know what? My cabin's not far from here. It's warm, there's food, and a Christmas tree taller than me. Why don't you come with me tonight?" Sarah's eyes widened. "We can't impose—" "It's not charity," Mike interrupted kindly. "It's Christmas and no one deserves to be alone on Christmas." Tears welled in her eyes. She looked at her children who were now staring at him with hope. After a long pause, she nodded. "Thank you, Mr. Turner." He smiled. "Call me Mike, let's get you home." As they stepped out into the snowy night, Sarah didn't realize that this stranger, this ex-Navy SEAL, was about to change her life forever. The drive through the snowy forest felt like a dream. Sarah held her children close in the back seat while Mike kept glancing at them through the mirror. Their tired faces slowly softened as the heater warmed them, and for the first time that night, little Noah smiled. When they reached Mike's cabin, Sarah gasped. It wasn't a normal cabin. It looked like something from a Christmas movie. Soft golden lights wrapped around the porch, smoke rose gently from the chimney, and a huge glowing Christmas tree shone through the window like a beacon of hope. Mike opened the door and warmth rushed out. "Welcome home," he said quietly. Inside, the fire crackled and the smell of roasted chicken filled the air. Emma's eyes widened. "Mom, food." She ran toward the table, stopping only when she remembered her manners. Can we really eat this?" Mike knelt beside her. "Sweetheart, tonight you eat as much as you want." Sarah covered her mouth, tears spilling. For months she had struggled to provide even a simple meal. Now her children were laughing, eating and warming their frozen fingers by the fireplace. After dinner, Mike brought out 3 neatly wrapped gifts. "These were extras," he said with a wink, though Sarah could tell he had chosen them intentionally. Emma opened hers and squealed, a soft teddy bear wearing a tiny Christmas sweater. Noah unwrapped a toy truck and immediately drove it across the rug. Sarah hesitated with her small box. "I can't accept this." "Please," Mike insisted, "you deserve something too." Inside was a beautiful scarf, soft, warm, and new. Not secondhand, not worn out, new. She held it gently, as if afraid it might disappear. But the real miracle came next. Mike cleared his throat, looking nervous for the first time. "Sarah, I don't want this to end tonight. I know you don't know me well, but I want to help you get back on your feet. A job, proper housing, anything you need. You're not alone anymore." Sarah stared at him, speechless. No one had spoken to her like that since her husband died. No one had cared enough to offer real help. Her voice trembled. Why would you do this for us?" Mike looked at her softly. "Because once someone saved me when I had nothing, now it's my turn." The fire crackled. The children laughed. Snow fell gently outside. And for the first time in years, Sarah felt hope. Real hope. A Christmas miracle. Delivered by an ex-Navy SEAL with a heart stronger than any battlefield.